Kia ora whānau, welcome back. This is post-Nationals review. So first off, congratulations to everyone that raced. It was good to be back on the race course and having Nationals. And also big thanks to Waka, New Zealand, and all the volunteers. Just seeing them out there, man, it was hot. And as like, I think paddling is the easy bit for what they do for the whole week as well.
Definitely.
And just like our other video, we encourage others, if you guys know a little bit about the teams and whatnot, then, you know, get your mate and have a bit of a kōrero together and post it up, just kind of like what we're doing. In this video, we're going to look at the men for the singles from j16 pretty much through to Golden Masters, and then we'll look at the Premier Men 6-man or team events. So first off, bro, before we get into the results this year, across the whole category, especially for singles, there was real fast times. Like if you didn't get a PB, I don't think something was right. But what do you think some reasons why these times were so fast, bro?
Yeah, man. Holy heck. In all of my years competing at Nationals, I've never seen these type of times before in my life. Even within the 6 500s and the 6 250 meters that I've won, I've never seen under a 210 in the finals. You know, it actually took me 6 years to break the record, which was 211 from Kyron Thomas. Took me 6 years to break that by split seconds. Compared to this year, the whole 12 paddlers in the Open Men final broke 210.
Yeah,
so it's crazy.
So I guess one obvious one is that the weight of the canoe has gone down from 16 to 14. So across the board, Golden Masters, etc., times were quick. So I guess that would be one big factor that's never happened before. And if you think, like, if a canoe goes from 16 to 18 the other way, I'm pretty sure times would increase, eh?
Yeah, for sure. I think weight definitely takes, comes into play there. Just being able to paddlers to get their light carbons out and not have to put any weight in. It
makes a big difference, eh? And obviously there was some conditions. Tailwind was pretty good.
Definitely, the trade winds for Lake Karapiro, we all know, usually favour lane 1, in the sense that it comes across you from the left-hand side and it kind of shelters lane 1. But this year, and pretty much just for Wednesday, the Tawhiri Mātia kind of treated us well, and it was a little bit from the right-hand side, the right-hand shoulder, but it was pretty much down the course. One benefit of it being a little bit from the right-hand side, bro, is that inevitably you're going to spend more strokes on the left-hand side. Having it from the right, a little bit from the right-hand side, increases how much you actually spend on the right-hand side. So it's probably, in some ways, almost faster than a straight one.
Yeah, right.
Because you got the drag of the armour. So the drag of the armour is always making you spend a bit more strokes on the left. But having that wind on the right, like this, it's kind of harder for you to bring that nose around. So, yeah, definitely quick times due to the wind.
Yes, sweet. So all those factors.
One more factor?
Yep. Your one?
Yeah. So even driving to the lake and coming from Tauranga and crossing the bridge, took a little glimpse down to the right to see the floodgates basically, and it's probably the most water I've seen coming out the bottom of the floodgates.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it's to do with all the rain that we've had leading up to Nationals, that they can afford to kind of open those gates a little bit more, which basically equals current running down the course. So that's definitely a factor to take into account.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving into the results, look at the J16s, and this one, I find quite interesting because there's a mean battle going on between these top few boys. But we got Elite with the gold. We got Maya Campbell, Marlon, Sol Tamati, Larome, Kane, Fraser, Caden Thrupp, Tarawera, he was paddling with the senior men's team. Kingy, Brooklyn, and Rehu Tai. So, bro, what do you know a little bit of history between these two at World Champs? And
Yeah, well, I definitely know a bit more about Elite Reti coming from Ngāhui Horo in the far north. You know, he's been putting in the time alongside his team and whānau, so yeah, he's looking strong.
Yeah.
And what about Maya Campbell?
Yeah, well, both from paddling pedigrees. So you got Elite
definitely.
with Jay and Chev and Romaine, and then Maya's whānau with Kiwi and Bruce and Mairangi and stuff. So massive paddling families.
Yeah.
So there's no surprises that they're up there. 206, both of them, which is pretty unreal.
Oh,
Was it 208?
Yeah, 208. And the current world champion there.
Yeah, so Maya just pipped Elite at World Champs, and then the reverse roles this time at Nationals. I think Maya did get Elite in the 250, so the battle is going to be awesome to watch throughout the years. And also, you know, a couple of strong paddlers with Marlon and stuff.
Definitely, Marlon's you know, over the last couple of years, man, he's all of these boys have just grown so quickly in the last couple of years. I remember them all just being, you know, little fellas, and now they're
crazy,
they're filling out and getting some pretty awesome times. So it's cool to see this rivalry starting. Yeah, it's awesome.
And I think also we go back to those fast times with like new technology and stuff, with these canoes and whatnot. Like I was talking to Nonna and I was like, bro, when you were 16s, were you like getting those times? Like, this is ridiculous. These guys.
That's definitely an important thing to take into account. You know, the other thing to take into account is like, yes, we did set records, and they were faster than world records, but they don't actually count towards world's records. And if we actually do, it's quite hard to compare, because when you look at world championships, say the current world record held by Kevin, 2 minutes 4 seconds, those were on fiberglass canoes that weighed 16 kilo plus, maybe even a little bit more, with no foot plates and things like that. So it is hard to kind of compare.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's kind of good that we stick to national records and then world records.
So these don't count
as
world records.
They don't count as world records, I believe. So, yeah.
All right, so under 19s, do you want to go through these?
Yep, so we got Pharrell first with a 209. Romain Reti with a 209. I remember watching this race. That was super close. Two very different techniques, I'd say, too. Pharrell with the quick up front, bang, bang, you know, the kind of the stroke that I can't really do. And then Romain, you know, with his length and how tall he is, had a bit more of the longer and long and strong going on. Third place, we had Mahaki, Sam, Lees in fourth, Zen and Herbert, fifth, Kaitawhiti Kireopa, sixth, Te Rau Kōtuku, Nikorapiri, seventh, Hunter Hewson, Jean-Marie in ninth, Matthew 10th, Kiriyama Southern in 11th place. So, yeah.
No, good racing. Pharrell, Romain, and Mahaki, both in London with the J19s, along with some of those J16s that were in the 19s as well. So the future's strong. Pharrell's paddling really well.
Yeah.
It's kind of bred from that Manukau water. And then, the rest of the boys are coming through. Kai Tawhiti was with the Turanga Waiwai team that won the bronze in the Open.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Awesome. So some really well-known last names here as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they develop, and hopefully they keep paddling. There's always that transition from 19s where boys go, or anyone, boys or girls, go to university or get a job and kind of fall away. So
it is really good to see. You know, even after the last couple of years, I think even myself, I was a bit worried how strong the junior divisions would be coming into another nationals. You know, some of them might have gone to the wayside, but after this nationals, it's pretty clear to see that the junior grades are super strong.
Yeah,
so
for sure. The only one concern, like I look at the junior 19s, 6-mans, and there was hardly any teams, bro. So individually, man, there's some guys that are pumping and women as well, but it's just trying to find that growth.
Yeah, spread that. I get a bit more again, like.
But anyway, under 23s, pretty much straight final. But man, some good paddlers here. So we got Jakey from Manukau with a 203.
203, yeah.
Jared Iti, 205.
Super
He tried his best to come back. Manawa. So Manawa was, I'm pretty sure he's sitting around 5th. Anadu was in 3rd place, and Manawa came back strong.
Awesome.
Jakey Cameron, then Justin from Hawke's Bay there. I got to meet him while I was there. Christian, and then Papa. So,
awesome.
It's an awesome Division A. Just some boys coming out of the 19s.
Yeah.
You know, don't want to quite go up to that open men's level, but man, half of these, if not more, could really do all right.
Yeah. And this was Jake's second win.
In
the 23s,
23.
Yeah, pretty awesome, pretty strong, eh?
Yeah.
Ton of power.
Just all up front, and taps away.
You know, I don't know if you're going to pull up the dash.
Yeah, we will. Yeah,
I'll talk about that later then.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But they got a good thing going there at Manukau. You know, they got obviously the Komatua JP leading the way, and we'll talk about him next. But obviously KC, they've got their just a good training group.
Definitely, and I mean you got to give prompts to the likes of Mark Malaki and Brad and even the guys before them that have just kind of paved this way for those. Once we were juniors, and now we're feeling those juniors start to come of age, and you're not just nipping at the heels there.
Breaking records and whatnot.
Man.
So it's just that good foundation, since the get go, and man, I could imagine. Well, I can't really imagine how much time it takes to like develop that, and like all the coaching and
definitely
kind of just build that. So when whoever steps in, they know their expectations and they can see that clear pathway as well.
Yeah,
moving forward.
But like the Melbourne Storm.
No. Yeah. So congrats to those boys. They all went hard. We're going to move to Golden Masters, just because as we just watched this race before. You want to go through this, bro?
Yep. So this is my old man's division, and there's a lot of strong paddlers in this team. But it was pretty cool to watch. So Stephen Brett from Te Waka Pounamu won this division with a 2 minute 17 seconds, which is pretty super fast for the Golden Masters division. Lyle Pryor came in second, 2 minutes 18 seconds. Ali Robinson from Kaihoi o Ngāti Rehia Trust up north came in third. And then good old George Thomas in fourth.
Uncle George. Steve
Monk fifth. Old Daddy David King in sixth. Matthew Lees 7th, Timothy Bruce 8th, Tony Davies 9th, Anthony Cribb in 10th, David Crew 11th, and Jim Tungle.
Oh, Jimmy.
12th.
Nice. Yeah. So even when you get to that age, it's still like competitive division, eh?
Yeah. It's pretty cool to know that, it doesn't matter what age you are. My old man's 66 now, and he's still going hard, It's pretty cool.
Been around for ages. Even like Toby LaRue, he's just turned 60, I think, and he didn't even make the final. I think he got DQ'd.
Competitive division, division, and So Stephen Brett hasn't been paddling for
Rumours
too
has
long,
it he's only been paddling for about half a year, maybe 8 months. I did hear another rumour that he used to be like a basketball player, like for New Zealand and stuff. So he's an athlete. And the same person told me that he's just one of those guys that whatever he does, he's bloody good at.
100%.
And a short of space.
Coming back to conditions again, he was out in lane 7. So, like I said, lane 1 wasn't necessarily the favoured lane. I think it was pretty even across the board, which is what you want in the final. So, yeah.
Sweet. So, Senior Masters Gold, congratulations, Mike Sulla, the 209.
Nice.
Ross Gilray, who's always there or thereabouts, 211. Jason Stewart, Max Holder, Mitty Ma from Manukau. He's the para guy.
Oh, awesome.
Me.
Yeah.
He was lane 1 as well,
Yeah.
for sure.
Strong.
Craig from Haymarto, one of the brothers. Brent, Jason Ashford, Jason Ray, Big Daryl, then Darren Jones, Darren Collins, and Grant Barbable.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, when I look at that, I know Max and Craig and Daryl and they're all real strong paddlers. So another really tight race. You can see that all these guys are all in 212. So there's 1, 2, 3, kind of 4 of them from 3rd to 6th, all within a second.
Michael Salo looked in good shape for sure.
Another product of Manukau.
Yeah, he's one of the OGs.
Canoe Club.
Mike.
So shot to those fellas. Moving on to our master men.
Yeah, so first place, Bruce Campbell from Horeita. Second, Mark Malaki Williams. Third, Eric Watterson. Fourth, Jason Reti. Fifth, Kisione Fonua. Sixth, Sam Misiepo. DQ. Paul Rosendale. I didn't actually know he got DQ'd. I didn't even know. Did he jump the start, did he?
Oh, probably.
Oh, come on, Paul. It was the win day. Grant Donaldson, 7th. There's a few DQs in this race. We did notice a lot of DQs this year, probably due to wind getting blown over the start line. Aaron Herbert, Barnes. Justin Roberts was in 8th, and Jörn Scherzer was in 9th.
All top paddlers there, eh?
Yeah. Yep.
Pumping, what a division.
Pumping, all right, definitely.
I did watch it. Jace was in lane 2, and he was mucking around a bit. Missed the start completely.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate.
He tried to come back, but couldn't quite get it.
I think I did a similar thing in my final, although they don't show it, but didn't have the greatest. It was a pretty tricky start line, I reckon, this year. Very tricky compared to most of the years, I think. They were doing weird things with black flags and green flags, so.
For sure. And I think definitely this year it's been the most DQs for the V1 and for teams.
I think we're so used to the black flag not staying up and we expect it to come down. But I think we were getting blown over the line that much that the black flag never came down. Green flag went up and everyone was getting caught out. So,
there's some good paddlers that missed out because of that. I think people would back up and then like the wind just keep pushing them. The whole time there was no rolling start. So our tactic was to roll start in our 6-man and we got blacked every time.
Yeah.
Even though all the canoes were there. But then for our final for Premier Men, they just went red green straight away.
I think if it's a hard one, eh? How could you improve it? That's the question.
Whether you just
would having no black flag be better than having a black flag and just leaving it up to the and obviously having the camera there all the time, but you're responsible with making sure that you're on the start line. You're not over it. That way, you're definitely not going to get any running starts,
Yeah.
but everyone's going to be a lot more wary because I think the old school way was intentionally get the black flag up, come back and wait for it to go down, and then you know you
so by your luck, if you
Yeah.
don't get it, then you're all good.
Yeah.
Come back. The other thing, like rowing, there's like they're in blocks or something, you know, so they're held there. And there's other canoeing sports where there's platforms or there's actually a bit of a gate.
Yeah.
That sits your canoe in it, and as soon as the green, it will just drop. So I don't know.
In Hawaii, they get a person to swim out there.
Yes, I've
and
seen
sit in-
that. Yeah.
Maybe we can get
There's some more
Shotgun,
volunteers.
sitting out there all day holding the nose of a canoe. Oh well.
Too good. So congrats to those guys, man. They're all pumping. Masters is real competitive division. Moving on, we got the Premier Men. So we got Manutia Million. We got Casey Nataki Tipu here in third, 201. So Manutia was 157. Julius Pedersen, 203. Narada, Turi, myself, Koro, Sean Herbert, Tere, Nona, and Luke.
What a final.
What a final. So yeah, everyone's under 210 there.
Everyone's under 2:10, 2 minutes 10. It's pretty unreal, unheard of. But breaking the 2 minute mark,
Crazy.
that is unreal.
And I watched these two, Casey in particular, and looks like he's doing a start, but he's doing it the whole race nearly. Like, he's just tapping along.
That's the new technique these days. It's like there's no start, lengthen it out.
Yeah. Let's just go the whole way.
Go.
And he's
But
probably
man,
just like, man, this is easy compared to my K1 stuff.
yeah, hard out.
But
Half the stroke
there's
rate.
no long, it's just all out there.
Exactly.
Whereas if you analyse Manutia, he kind of goes into a long and then he'll tap it away. But he seems to have this like unbelievable strength where he can just get the canoe up,
Yeah.
but stay really controlled.
I think, specifically with these two, man, it's pretty unreal. But, you know, there's always an element of power to weight ratio, eh? And one thing that both of these paddlers are, they're very light, but then they're very fit and strong at the same time. I would argue that Casey Nataki he's super strong, eh? Super strong. Because he does a lot of stuff in the kayak world, and they're really big on developing strength. So he has mean power to weight ratio. Manutia, like weight wise, because he does a lot of distance racing and stuff as well, I'd say he wouldn't be as strong. But his endurance and his muscular endurance and just efficiency is there, and you could almost see that towards the end of the 500, where Casey actually had almost a full canoe on him, halfway, but then maybe that little bit of endurance towards the end, Manutia could start to kind of
just had that control, that race control, and you just
Definitely.
like looked like he just knew what he was doing when he was doing it.
I knew pretty early on in the race that I wasn't in, that I wasn't in contention. It wasn't. I want to say it wasn't my best race in the final, but still got a 2:01, so pretty happy with that. Not a sub 2 minutes, but yeah.
And then the other bro, Jules, pretty unreal to be honest. So I was next to him, and he pretty much just started paddling before when the red was up, and I was looking at him thinking, bro, this is going black. Like there's no rolling starts. I look across, and then they go green, and I'm like, oh god. Perfect. So he was out there with Case at the start. Like you look at the 250, but I knew like he hasn't been training much. So I knew I could try and kind of catch him, pull him back, and I did a little bit, but not enough. And he was stoked.
Especially with this a couple of weeks under his belt.
Yeah.
Man, pretty good effort.
Must have just gone down to the boat ramp, drunk some Monaco water, and just got the boost again, eh? Then Big Narada, congrats, bro. And this one I'd like to talk about. Turi Hodges, senior master man, so that means he must be 50 plus. Coming sixth and then second in the 250. It's pretty incredible,
bro. Unreal. I want to know his secret.
Yeah, so-
Oh man, must be that good firefighting.
Yeah,
life.
firefighting life. I think they just do bench press every day.
Yeah,
Him and
on night shift
Korowiti,
and-
they've been training
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Nah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's unreal from him, and congratulations on his mahi and that. Him and Koro trained together. Koro, well, he was in front of me most of the race, and I got him at the end. Me and him have this battle every year, like we're neck to neck. I kind of feel sorry for him, but yeah, he probably a little bit gutted not to get me and probably Turi as well. Shawnee gave it a good go, pretty well, pretty good.
Yeah.
Teddy
100%.
always there, pumping. Nona, and then Luke. So Nona started a little bit late.
Yeah.
Just had a baby and stuff. But
Yeah.
where Toby was talking to me about him today, and he goes, "Who's the one guy that, if he actually trained as much as we did, would actually be pumping and talented? You know, he's got the talent there, and that's the guy, Nona there."
Yeah. I remember 23's Nono was super strong.
Yeah. So hopefully you can bring that back. So we'll move on to the men's teams races. So 1500. So congratulations. During our predictions,
Thank you.
you guys are definitely one of the favourites, world champions. So
Now we're the favourites.
yeah, now you're the favourites. 7:10 is an awesome time though.
Yeah.
6 seconds in front of Botti boys, who did pretty well. Like
They pedalled strong.
They pedalled
They were
strong.
coming back strong.
Yeah, so congrats to Butties to be back up there in the sprints race. And then we got Turanga YY. So that's the new team with Mike and Courtney and Jared and a few of the younger boys. And we did say that they were like a underdog that could do pretty well. And
sure.
I think they nailed their turns and well deserved. Got Pure OCC, my team in fourth. Team Peniola, that was their second team, got fifth.
Yeah.
Tarawera with Bevan and Hemi and Brandon and those boys. The top Peniola 7th and Waka Manu 8th.
Must have been saving the energy for the 5, eh?
Yeah. Not too sure what happened there.
Yeah.
So you guys look really smooth out there, bro. Both in your longs, on your straights, and you obviously nailed your turns. Quickly before we talk about that, one of your paddlers got sick or injured or went to hospital.
Yeah. After our first couple of heats for the 15 and the 500 on a couple of 12-man races, we had one paddler have a bit of a few kind of health issues, which basically led to him not being able to carry on for the rest of the couple of the days. So we couldn't leave Conan in his on his holiday break.
Yeah.
You know, had to pull him out of his vacation and get him back in the Waka, which Rutene wasn't too happy about, because Rutene only got to steer one race before he had to hand and steer his pedal back to Conan. But no, we were super happy because that's my first 1500 meter national gold with the Herberts.
Yeah,
and it's it's even more special to get it after the back of London, after winning gold in London. So it was. I think I don't know. We've been together for long enough now that like we don't get a lot of training together, but we know our systems and how we work together and what works. And the key thing about the 15 is that like you don't even have to be the fastest of like the most powerful team in the 15. The 15 is about efficiency and smooth. It's a lot of it is in your turns, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So like if you burn all your energy in the straights, and then you don't have a lot of energy for the turns,
Yeah.
then you kind of suffer throughout the race. So yeah,
Because I noticed that a lot of teams, or some teams that did well in the turns, didn't even make the final in the straights. So you can see the difference between that.
Yeah, for sure.
And one thing that I think you guys were the only team, and I know a few other guys that do it really well, is that you're at seat 1 and you do the uni on the right going into the turn. So what's the reasoning for you doing that?
So the uni, which is basically steering from the front up there, if you get it right, then basically it saves a bit of energy, because not only are you turning and kind of slowing the canoe down with the rudder. If you were to just draw, when you're drawing and you're holding, it's a lot of pressure on the forearm, you know, so it can kind of burn you out. So while your canoe's still at near maximum cruising speed coming into the turn, you're using that free energy basically to use it to help you turn. As the canoe slows down, then you can come over and start drawing when you're no longer basically the slower the canoe gets, the more ineffective the rudder gets. So it has to be a good rudder though, and for some reason I always forget how to do it. And then it takes me like the heat to get it sussed, the heat, then the semi, and then we're good to go for the final, because I'll get back up there and I'll be slipping and doing all this stuff,
right.
but
just finding that exact point, where it grips in.
Definitely. So
mean. So that was a good race. For us, bro, it was like, so our heat, we missed every turn by like a meter or two.
True.
And I was watching it, and the commentary goes, oh, you know, pure OCC, you know, current champs. It looks like they've got like a new strategy. They're going really wide. And then he goes, I'm not sure if that's working for them. They'll go back to the drawing board after that. And man, we were like, what the hell is going on? And we tried to fix it. We got into the final. We were up there with the other guys for about 3 turns, but I think fitness just let us down a little bit at the end of the day. But so that's the turns. Always a good one. We'll move to.
I'll just stop that it doesn't delete that one.
So just moving on to the. Actually, we can go if we go Friday 12 man.
Yeah.
Premier man. And the results aren't up.
Oh,
wow. One thing with that is there's a bit of money on the line. So first place was Peniola, so they get 500. So it's sponsored by National Holder Corporation. And that would be cool if like every race was like that, you actually won money. But our boys got second, PROCC Mana, and third was you guys? Wakamanu.
I think it was us, I didn't go to the prize giving because I had to shoot off, but I think we did get bronze,
Yeah. And then quickly the premier race.
Or was it the regional that we got?
Well, you did, yes.
Might have been the regional, sorry.
Took it out. So first, Puko to Ika. Second, Akaranga, Auckland. These guys third.
Sorry, I think that was the bronze that we got.
Yeah. So that was a mean race. So I think we have the best system on how we pick it. So ours is at our regionals we have heats and then a final for our 250 dash.
Yeah.
The 12 fastest out of that, even if it's the J19s, become the regional team. So pretty much the fittest 12 in our region.
Yeah.
This is it. So
that was us too,
Yeah. We had Kai, who's j16, I think, and then Craig, who's senior masters. But I was kind of amping it up, for them. Like, we always want to beat you guys and Akaranga. So I was like,
it's pretty cool because we even had George Thomas in
our I've seen that.
So
that was me.
Good good to have him with us for a season.
For sure. He beats half of our boys anyway. So, no, it's always a fun race. Just one off, come together. And very funny thing is, at the start of our race, like 100 meters in, the camera boat or the flag boat shot across our nose boat. They were less than a half a meter from hitting us. Like they just boosted across. Like we were like, "What's going on?" Like yelling at them, and they were just cha-hui.
True.
It's like what?
Holy
and then
heck.
when we were getting interviewed after, I mentioned that, and then they go, "No, cut that. Like we have to start this again. You can't mention that." But just to throw that out there.
Crack up.
It's free speech on this chat show.
Yeah, free speech.
And no political stuff. So, bro, you want to go through this? 500?
500 meter results. Piniola Mulivai first with 1 minute 47 seconds. Team Wakamanu 148. Pure OCC 148. So that was a close second. HOT fourth 149. So we're still in the running there.
Yep.
Fifth Team Piniola. Sixth Woolly Kumaras. Seventh PCKC Sons of Poseidon. Eighth Buti Boys. Ninth Tarawera OCC. 10th Aarua. 11th No Limits. 12th Te Rangi Haiata j16.
j16 boys.
Tō Wakama. Yeah.
So it was kind of expected. Like we called it at Piniola would be really, really strong.
Yeah.
They had two good teams, so they got first and fifth. So to have two teams in the final with top five, I mean, that just shows what we're talking about, their depth and whatnot.
For sure.
So congratulations to those fellas. I think does Teddy run the cutter there?
Yeah, I'm not too sure exactly, but you know, it was interesting actually, because I remember going up for the semis. I think these two, Wakamanu and Piniola, were in semi together, right? Or was it the heat? And Wakamanu got them by a decent amount. So you know, for Piniola to come back in the final and divvy it out goes to show it was pretty close. It was
angry after the turns.
Yeah. But good battle there. So
yeah, well, we always know that Wakamanu are going to come back strong. Like the second half of the race, kind of got that power and that just like that body attack on that front of the cache. But if you look, they're only like 0.1 of a second in front of us.
Yeah,
bro. So we thought we came fourth. We thought you guys had it until we loaded the canoes up to the loading bay.
True.
After, and Conan goes, "Oh, congrats, boys!" And we're like, so since we didn't know, it was kind of probably a really satisfying moment for us to get that. Like I said before, like some teams like Buti Boys in 8th there, so not quite as good as their turns.
I was just thinking about that. Like, so it's funny because some teams you have like a large proportion of like long distance paddlers in there.
Yeah.
And when you paddle a lot of distance, you train your slow twitch muscle fibers, eh?
Yeah.
Whereas say there's some teams who have paddlers who don't do a lot of long distance, but they likely have a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers.
Yeah.
And I would say Wakamanu have, the likes of Wakamanu have a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers in their crew. So over that 500, that 250 meter distance, super powerful.
Yeah. Compared to like the boys at Turanga Waiwai, who got third in the distance, but didn't even make the final here. You see they're longer distance guys.
When you look at the likes of Kimi and they're deadlifting 200 kgs, I can't even deadlift 100
that's for 20 reps. That's for 20 reps.
Man.
They're very Kimi.
So sometimes you can't compensate for power. So, maybe next year I'll do a bit more weightlifting.
Sweet. And last one, we got the 250 dash. So we got Jakey 101, Turi 102, Nona 104.17. Myself 104.18.
Yeah. got me.
Tipu, Bruce, Koro, Mark, Grunter, Shawnee, and Dan Firth.
It's always a close one, eh? But this year I say it wasn't that close, and it was pretty cool watching it back because the start was pretty even, like at the start, and all of a sudden it changes. It must focus on somebody, and then it comes back, and then all you see is Jake's already got a waka on everybody. It didn't look like he had a mean like break at the start, but just that power in that first 50 to 100 meters. Holy heck, he got out to a mean lead. Yeah.
Had his poo kind of going. And, just cruised over, really.
Yeah, I don't know how he even looked, how many, 5 times, and he's still... my coach used to always tell me, don't look straight.
Yeah,
but I guess, that's the thing. The main thing about the 250 is the start. The first half, if you can get out, boom, and get a lead in that first bit, then it's really difficult to come back on that person. And if you know you've got the lead, then you can almost not back off, but you can afford to have a breather and then get ready, boom, smash the finish.
Be a bit more patient.
Yeah.
I know I was like jacked up, just tried to not nick a V, and last race, it's been a long week.
What did I have? I don't know, I think I had, but my final for the 500, I didn't do well. I drank one of those Musashi energy drinks, but I drank it about 2 hours before the final. So like, it had beta alanine. I got the tingle. Then that went away, and then I think I bonked a bit. And when I was on the start line, I had the dries, and I'm like, that was. Don't drink those energy drinks too early anyway.
Yeah. So that's all the racing, but it's kind of good segue into that just to finish off around like in between races and stuff. Like, I guess what do you do? Like, obviously it's a long week, Wednesday all through to Saturday. You want to stay fresh as possible, but in between races there's a couple of hours and whatnot. What do you try and do in between?
For me, a little bit more difficult now that I've got trained like a king. You have to get back and start selling merchandise and stuff. Nah, but I think the main thing is staying out of the sun, staying hydrated, eating well, staying away from the fried foods and that on race day. Stick to stuff that you're used to though, but don't eat a lot, eat small portions frequently, but then also take the time to get back, keep your head in the game, focus. Like I said, a little bit more difficult now, but I remember back when I was, really competitive, which wasn't too long ago, really. But I almost wouldn't barely talk to anyone throughout the day, because I'm so focused and thinking on like running through the races and thinking what I got to do and
improve on and whatnot.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong with that, that type of stuff.
So when you get to the race loading bay, that's obviously what you're thinking. What you've got to do and what you've got to improve on and whatnot.
Exactly.
Race plan.
Yeah, like I'm already at the start line pretty much. That's what and I'll be even thinking about I wouldn't say every single stroke, but I'll be running through my game plan pretty well. Because you don't get a lot of warm up time, and like depending on what conditions they are, that changes your stroke a little bit. Wind wise, you don't really get to test it. So the best way to test it is kind of just like imagine you're out there. Like, okay, the wind's coming across me like this. I'm gonna, little things like that.
Yeah, nice. The only time you get a bit of rest is when Sean Herbert's paddling out for a 250 real late. Yeah. You got to wait for him. So he just cruises out.
He did a 500 meter sprint because he sprinted to the start line and then go.
He wasn't sprinting, bro. He was like, But one thing, just to add on, like, I like camping there because you can just go there and you're kind of away. Like this year, I hardly watched any races. Because we just go to the campsite, get out of the sun. It's just as much mentally draining the week as it is physically, I reckon, because you kind of crash after a race, and then you got to try and pick yourself up somehow, whether it's be that through food or drink or whatever. So yeah, and definitely this year, bro, it was an emotional one with Auntie Helen not being there.
Yeah.
And like started on Sunday with the porphyry, and then Friday night we had a big dinner with Waka in New Zealand. Shout out to them with Mean Feed, and pretty much the whole thing was about her and like how much she meant to everyone.
Yeah.
And I think on the Thursday everyone wore pink to honor her. So it was kind of, bro, it was a strange national for us. And we weren't really nailing our races as well. So it was like, right, it was mentally pretty tough. I was pretty pissed off sometimes. But I appreciate like all our medals we got, man. I was really stoked with and how we went. So if you're to sum up your nationals this year, bro, how was it? And maybe what would you do differently, if anything, next time building up?
Yeah, that's a good question. And we spoke about this on the water tonight a little bit. Like, you know, for me, with mahi and just more adult things that, you know, I have to do these days, wahine and all of that type of stuff. I don't get to train as much as I'd like to, for sure. I know what it takes, obviously, because, you know, I've been there and been competitive in the Premier Men division for a while now. So I know what it takes to get there, and I know what I need to do. I don't always get to do that. And so this year, my approach was, I was trying to focus on training my weaknesses. So for years, my strength has been endurance. My weakness has been like shorter distance sprint stuff. So like even the 250 dash. And so I did actually focus on what I would say quality more than quantity. So I didn't do a lot of long distance stuff. I did a lot of interval work and focus stuff. But after my performance in nationals, I think I realized that actually, because I took away energy in my strength and put it into my weakness, I didn't necessarily come off better off, because I just traded off a strength for a strength, you know, weakness, you know. Whereas I probably would have been better if I tried to not just focus on not just keep working my strength, but do my weaknesses as well. So that's the biggest thing for me, is that I feel like I didn't have the normal endurance that I normally have at a sprint nationals, which may have been all right for the first couple of races, but I think towards the end of the week, I think I really kind of felt it a bit more. So that's my takeaway. Yeah. What about you, bro?
Probably similarly. Like this or last year was kind of like we did all sprints going into London. So like I was really didn't really have much of a endurance space throughout most of the year, and then traveled Europe for a few months and celebrated. So then I came back, and so I don't think I really got that good base. Like so I got back in during LDNs. So I was a little bit rushed, but every year, bro, I just try and like push myself a bit more, try and improve like technique and try and get a little bit faster. So we'll see for next year. Be good if we like I always try and like create like an environment where you're like training with other people. Like I seem to paddle by myself quite a bit, or with people that are like like not quite at the level. So we live in the same even like, so me, him and Ash, I used to live with Ash, and we'd only paddle a couple times a year together. And then same with this fellow as well. So just trying to find that time. So last question, bro. This year, where are you going?
Oh man,
racking up the air points.
You know, if Irene had it her way, I'd be in every country by August, I think. No, it's it's pretty cool. I think that everything's kind of starting to open up again. More races are on the horizon. So first up, Sydney Harbour Challenge, and I know you'll be there too, and a few other New Zealand teams. So that's going to be an awesome international one. I think the next one after that, I'm looking that is in the works is potentially Panama. potentially. Maybe with a bit of Brazil on the tail end of that. But they
love you there.
Yeah, yes, I think that's majority of my Instagram following. And then the one I'm really looking to want to do is the Molokai Solo, and maybe a few races in and around that in Hawaii. Obviously Samoa Worlds, and then Te Aitoa, maybe Super Aitoa, depending, because I really want to do the Gorge this year. So whichever one that falls on, I might have to forfeit a Te Aitoa or a Super Aitoa. And
are they boycotting that, or?
I don't think so.
No.
I think they're all over that. I think once that race comes back, everyone's going to be jumping at it like, hotcakes. So yeah, man, I don't know how I'm going to pay for all of these trips and
business card.
No, plenty of coaching clinics and all of that, I think.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
just get on the cranes.
Yeah, on the cranes.
Exciting, bro. Yeah, Sydney will be good. There's heaps of teams there.
Yeah.
Samoa will be pretty cool.
You gonna come for a stint in Hawaii again too this year?
Yeah, bro. Hopefully, when it gets cold here, hit up Mario, and hopefully I can go there for a few months and do the changeover races.
Nice.
And finish with the Molokai and with Team Oceania. That's the plan. I'd love to do that again. We had an awesome time over there last 2019, eh? Yeah. Pretty cool to paddle. Beautiful water, trade winds all the time. OC1s, good surfing.
Oh man, wish we had that.
Good
weather
food.
And thing here. Yeah.
Poke bowl, monkey. What are they?
Oh yes, monkey bowl, poke bowl.
Poke bowl. How good. It's good life.
Yeah.
And then, but I would love to hook up with a team and do Hawaii Nui in Tahiti, before kind of time runs out. Bro, for sure. So I need to start planning for that, putting the feelers out to the whānau over there, and then maybe Waka, bro.
Nice.
With Jules and his bro Poms over there, but we'll see. Cool. We'll see, bro. But being on the limelight, so it's an exciting year. So that's pretty much it, bro. Did you want to do anything more?
No, I think we covered most of it, eh?
Shout out to if anyone wants us to do anything else, like race reviews or even discussion points. There's a good one around. I was talking to a mate called Brad Huntley down in Taranaki, and his missus doing her masters on does competition overtake culture in Wakama, and is it kind of pushing culture of Wakama to one side, or what of each? So cool little discussion points that.
Yeah, that's a good. It is a really good discussion point
that we could talk about.
I had an interview from Sport New Zealand, I think, while I was at Wakama, because potentially they might be funding a bit, putting a bit more money towards Wakama. Obviously that they fund a bit of our sport. But it was very interesting because even the filmers, the guys interviewing me said, "Oh man, I didn't even know of the sport before I came here." But so it's kind of like, oh well, you should be a little bit more aware of what if we were on Sky Sport a bit more, then But they were blown away by just the whole the overall thing of Wakaama, because I spoke about whare tapawha, taha tinana, taha wairua, taha whānau, and taha hinengaro. All of those aspects of well-being are offered within Wakaama, but that culture is definitely a big point, especially if we are moving towards that element of elite, eliteness,
sure.
but
bit of money coming into it and whatnot,
and with elite coaching and elite campaigns, it's pretty awesome. And I think Wakaama and New Zealand do a good job of upholding those morals and stuff. But it's definitely worth open up conversations
Yeah,
around that, because
So once again, thanks heaps for all the feedback. Like at Nationals, people coming up, and like, love the video. I'm thinking, what video have I done recently? What TikTok? But no, it was me. It was me.
Yeah, this one will be an extra long episode for you guys tonight.
So far, I know
if you made it this far, man, you guys.
Yeah, a shout out to our sponsors, Train Like a King,
Train Like a King,
Talus Crew.
Train Like
If you want
a
some
Queen.
gear, I've got some of these tops left, or go to taluscrew.com and these hats as well.
Yeah, if you want to sponsor us and put an ad in there in the middle of the video next time.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And last but not least, keep the love at these races, whānau. We don't want to see any hoha stuff going on. Just going to leave it at that. But it's all love. And yeah, look after yourselves, and see you at Kariwa race and or Buti or Takapuna with coaching clinic with Tipu and Kevin.
And the Eagle.
And I'll give you some tips. Church, we out.
Ka kite.
Later.